I want to fill your dark soul with light! Light!
Just a bit.
Well, hello. Welcome to another episode of Just a Bit Gaming. I'm your host, Ryan Jumpy Crash Reynolds. And this is your other more handsome host, Adrian Bertazoid Townsend. Whoop! And I want to fill your dark soul with light.
I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light! He literally, have you seen that?
Light! Yeah. I figured that was the best. Whenever I saw that, I was like, well, that's the next fucking intro. That's the next episode.
I'm impressed that you've seen that. That is one of the funniest moments of that game. They have been touting it lately though, with these videos, the retrospective videos of the series, Devil May Cry series.
Yeah.
So,
if I'm being honest, I'd like to fill your dark soul with more than light, sir. Light.
What's this?
Light.
You're in Kingdom Hearts mode still?
I'm still in Kingdom Hearts. Are you still
playing it?
Okay, yeah. Still playing Kingdom Hearts.
Talking about dark and light again.
Yeah. You know it's dangerous to even get me on the subject.
I'm going to quickly get you off of it. But
yeah, you are.
You sound like you have a thought.
I mean, I'm still absolutely in it. We finished it fast.
Yeah.
We finished that game fast. Fat, Big, and I did.
For your speed of gameplay,
about 2 weeks.
That's really good.
Did it in about 2 weeks. And then went back and have been going back, doing small challenges, collecting stuff, all that. Actually, Malone decided that he wanted a Keyblade. He was carrying around, Shelby does all our gardening and stuff.
Yeah.
And she had this metal sunflower ornament thing. It's like a metal post kind of. And then it's got a sunflower on the top.
Yeah.
But then the post at the bottom, it comes straight down, and then it's got a right angle piece, and then another one to where it looks like a lowercase h almost.
Yeah.
And so holding that, Malone felt like it was a Keyblade. Just destroyed the thing.
That's
hitting everything with it.
That's a really good interpretation of a
solid Keyblade though. And so then I gathered up. I went to Lowe's, and I bought a handful of heavy, thick yardsticks.
Yeah.
They're 99 cents a piece. And I started cutting pieces down to make him a little wooden facsimile of a Keyblade.
That's cool. Yeah.
But then I passed my licensing exam for the home inspection.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Time to start a business. And when I told Shelby, she got me Super Smash Brothers as a congratulations gift.
Man, so you already told me about this, but I thought that was hilarious that you won't buy new games, but your wife has to do it for you.
She'll go buy them for me because she know I won't pull the trigger, But she bought me that, and Malone started playing with Link, and it was hold on. Maybe not a Keyblade, maybe a sword instead. So I made him...
He's wising up.
Yeah, made him the world's most bomb-ass wooden sword out of... I mean, it's sturdy, too.
Is it?
And I had to sand all the edges off of it and make them rounded because he's a maniac. He's a real hellion, the boy.
You're brave for even considering doing that.
Yeah, as soon as I was finishing it up and real excited, and then he struck an action pose with it, and I looked at Shelby and I was like, why did I make him a sword?
Yeah.
And she's like, I've been wondering that for days. You've been working on it. And you've just been in a trance working on this wooden sword. And now that he has it, I can't take it back from him, but I've doomed us all.
Does he play with it outside or inside? That's an outside toy for me.
He's allowed to carry it around and have it with him inside.
Oh, man.
But he has to play with it outside. He didn't get to take it out of town with him, though. His wooden sword to his grandmother's house.
It reminds me, a buddy of mine did the same thing for his boys when they were younger.
Yeah.
They were into Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and things like that. Mm-hmm. So he made them swords and lightsabers out of wood, and they looked awesome too.
Yeah.
Like, he got what are those things that spin the wood and you carve it?
A lathe.
Thank you.
Those things are awesome.
Yeah.
I have an old electric drill that I've been working on rigging up with clamps to try to make a tabletop lathe out of.
There you go.
Just so I can tinker with some stuff like that. I'll maybe make a muddler for bartending or something.
You've always been interested in woodworking and stuff.
Always.
Sounds like you need to have your own workshop.
I need a shop. I need a bigger house or some more land first.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
I hear you, man.
Fingers crossed.
That's kind of the same boat I'm in. Like I need space to be able to do my artwork, you know, and my design work, and I don't have it. So it's a pain to have to set up and tear down every time I want to do something, and I'm sure it's the same situation.
It is. I have to pull it all out of the shed and take it to the back patio and then work on it and then put it all away.
Put it all away before you go to bed or something. Like you can't leave it out.
Before
Same
it's
with
rained
me. Like,
on, before the kids get their fingers in
exactly.
it. You know?
Like whenever I work, it's on the kitchen table, so I have to set everything up, and I've got a lot of different stuff. My computer, my tablet, my references, you know, everything that I need. You set it all up, and by the time you if you take a break or something, walk away from a second, kids are going to spill water on the table. Or,
and the sword that I made it with a Leatherman multi-tool, a Dremel with some sanding attachments, and some Gorilla Glue.
That's all you need.
Did it all at the dining room table. And so he still wants me to build him a Keyblade at some point, which I think I'm going to take a run at.
That would be a fun project.
It wasn't until I started cutting pieces off, like measuring and drawing things and like cutting stuff up, and like, I'm going to make a wooden Keyblade. Then I got about, a few hours into the project and was like, I bit off a little bit here on this project. And so whenever he was like, I'll take a sword instead, I was like, hell yeah, kid. Because I'm pretty well done with a sword at this point. So he still wants a Keyblade, but I think for now, I might just go buy him like,
I was going to suggest
one of those cosplay, like heavy foam Keyblades.
You go to GameStop right now and buy a Keyblade. You know.
They're like $40 there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Actually though,
never mind.
That place I was telling you about, there's a new little shop in Yukon. I have the address here.
What's the name of it?
It's called Anime Zing.
Okay, that sounds like a place that would carry a Keyblade.
Yes, it's at 931 Cornwell Drive in Yukon. It's just south of Main Street. And I was driving home last night and just on a whim, I looked over and saw a cutout in the window with like neon lights and an open sign. I was like, whoa, what is that? And whipped into the parking lot and drove up on them. They were trying to close, but I popped my head and was like, are you guys closed? They were like, come on in, look around. So this guy's selling like Marvel and DC stuff, lots of anime stuff, kind of pop culture, like Walking Dead, Big Bang Theory type pop culture, just lots of anime-centric.
So I would imagine that he probably has My Hero Academia stuff.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
He has to. It's like
I'm sure
super popular right now.
And what I like about what he's doing is he's buying from suppliers, what he can get his hands on.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's just buying what he can and selling what he's got. So anytime you go in, he could have a completely different stock of things. So it's like a goodie bag of a store.
Yeah.
You know?
Or like a secondhand store in general. It's just that way.
Yeah, but none of it's secondhand. Except he has a consignment shelf.
Yeah.
And then everything else is just whatever he's got is what he's got, but he's got cool stuff. And so, and he's not charging an arm and a leg like the big retailers like GameStop, Vintage Stock, stuff like that.
Vintage Stock.
T-shirts, Pokemon, Walking Dead, different anime t-shirts, stuff like that. $9 or $10. Some of them $5 or $7.
Not bad.
There was like a cosplay style heavy foam Master Sword. It was short, kid size, but it was $10.
Nice.
I think there was a Oathkeeper Keyblade. It was $18.
Then that's the place you need to go.
That's the place I need to go buy a Keyblade. So, nice guy. He's only been open a week, and he deserves some business. He's got some cool stuff.
Awesome.
So people need to go visit that guy.
Yeah, sounds good to me. I'll probably check it out if I'm ever that way. It's rare that I'm in your neck of the woods, except for when you invite me over.
Which is like twice a week.
Well, lately it has been.
Yeah, now that Malone's gotten a taste of like having a friend over and playing, it's there. It's
Too bad
like it's an expectation now. Well, he's in Kansas.
Yeah.
I'm flying solo this weekend,
Which is awesome, man. I'm a little bit jealous.
It's weird. It's bizarre.
It's okay. I say I'm jealous. The way it works with me is I enjoy the hell out of it one day, and then the next day I wake up, I'm like, okay, I'm ready for them to come home now.
Yeah,
it's too quiet.
Like last night, like everyone at work was like, "What are you gonna do with your spare time riding solo? You know, bachelor. What are you gonna do?" And I was like, "Fuck if I know.
Be bored.
Watch Netflix without headphones." You know. And what I ended up doing last night was drinking a beer and playing Super Smash Brothers and going to bed at 9:30.
And you never texted me to say, "Hey, I'm playing Smash Brothers. Jump on."
That's because I unlocked I did 3 challenger approaches.
Yeah.
And then went, it's 9:30. I'm going to go to bed.
Have you played the story mode in that game yet?
The World of Light?
Mm-hmm.
I started it. I think I'm like 8 challenges deep on it.
Dude, I'm surprised. Has it gotten its hooks into you yet?
Not yet.
Oh man, when I started that and I started getting to a point where I was unlocking characters on a regular basis, I couldn't stop playing it.
Yeah.
And the way that they model each level or each character, I guess I should say, like they'll take a regular Smash Brothers character and model them after another character who's not a Smash Brothers character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And give them like weird attacks, wind-based attacks if it's a wind-based character or something like that. Just super cool things like that. And the creativity that goes with creating each and every one of these stages is really mind-blowing.
It's so thought out.
Yeah.
And then the spirits and the snacks and the special attacks and
it's a constant drip feed of new things.
Yeah.
Whether they're useful or not. Yeah.
And then I was a handful of matches deep and it gave me a notification before I started the match that it was like, this opponent has an advantage over your current setup.
Yeah.
Would you like to change your setup? And I was like, oh shit, yeah, Smash Bros. Let me clean up my game here. I
always just do the automatic setup.
There's an automatic setup?
Yeah, dude.
Man, I've been painstakingly comparing stats.
Oh, no.
But I know a lot about the system so far.
Well, I understand it, but I don't care. It's like that's more than I want to get involved with.
That's weird that you and I have swapped places like that recently.
Because
I'm a statsaholic right now.
Well, I am when it does it right. For Smash Brothers, all I want to do is unlock that next character or spirit.
I'm just trying to smash, bro.
Yeah, exactly. And there's so many stages in there, man. It's a ridiculous amount.
I'm just trying to smash until strangers come up to me, and then I smash them too.
I mean, whatever you got to do to
add them to my circle, bro.
The part that sucks though is like if you have to do that for each and every stage, it gets even more time consuming, and I just assume give me the automatic layout.
Now that I know, I'll probably start messing with the automatic.
It's so much quicker. I mean, you just do it, and then they'll give you suggestions a couple times, so you can pick the ones that you think are closest to if you know what their abilities are.
When I say I'm like 6 or 8 matches deep on it,
yeah,
that's taken me the better part of like 45 minutes or something of gameplay time.
Yeah, no, dude. Yeah, that's the really slow math.
So I've been really, really digging in.
I've been doing it the way I just told you about with the auto, and I've got probably 15, 20 hours just into that mode alone. So it's that long? It's super long, man. I'm not even close to being it yet. Yeah. So I would suggest going.
I was at another location of my diner today, talking to Dylan, the kitchen manager over there. Shout out Dylan if you're listening, Dylan Swain. He wears one of our pins.
Oh,
he listens to the show. And he was like, he goes, have you started playing World of Light? And I was like, yeah, a little bit. He goes, do you realize how long it is yet? And I was like, I kind of skimmed over the map. It seems pretty long. He goes, how long you think it is? I was like, I don't know, pretty long for what it is. And he goes, it's longer than you think it is.
Yeah.
I was like, how long is it? And he goes, longer than you fucking think it is, man.
That's
all right. So it's so long you can't even like answer it. And he was like, yeah, have fun.
That map, that's not the only map. I'll just say that.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's huge. That map is huge, and there's
you know what I thought was super rad? The intro video to the World of Light mode.
All the videos in that game are just super cool. I even like the songs
where it was setting up the story for it
with Kirby.
With Kirby and everybody there to fight together, and I was surprised that
it was a little over dramatic.
And I was surprised at the decision to have Fox leading them a little bit. I was a little surprised at that. Not totally. I just wouldn't have assumed that he would have been.
Mario's the leader.
It would have been Mario, right? Realistically speaking, it would have been Mario.
Weird. I don't even remember that. I just remember thinking, man, this is super cool and super over dramatic. Let's go.
Super dramatic. Almost like it's marketed to a bunch of gamers and anime kids, right?
I mean, it is. That's what it is. It's like anytime these games where they throw in a bunch of different characters from a different franchises come together, they always try to make a story out of it and explain it. I don't think it needs to be explained. Let's just make it happen.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts is a prime example of that. I mean, that convoluted storyline is so stupid.
It is still never even really explained why the Disney worlds are there in the first place.
At this point, I think the director got he got to the point where he's like, okay, this is no longer Disney game anymore. This is my game. I'm going to talk about, or I want to tell the story I want to tell.
Yeah.
And really goes overboard with
the
it.
Disney stuff is in the end run pretty much irrelevant.
In Kingdom Hearts 3 specifically.
Kingdom Hearts 1, it was relevant.
It was relevant because it was
Kingdom Hearts 1, I think, was a great game. It was balanced and didn't have too much going on.
After that, it just, to me, the series just kind of went downhill. I mean, a lot of people are going to disagree with me, I know, but that's just how I feel about it. I still enjoy the gameplay, and I don't know why we're talking about Kingdom Hearts again when we just talked about it last time. But
it's a testament to the addicting nature of the franchise.
I guess, sure, if you want to say that. But honestly, though,
I guess.
Smash Brothers does the same thing with the convoluted storyline.
Right.
It's not as bad, but
it kind of works for Smash Brothers because it's at least all these characters from the Nintendo history.
Yeah.
So they're living in the same universe,
and they don't try to justify why everybody's together. It's just they're there.
You're like, why is everybody here? What? Because they are.
Yeah, who cares? And I don't care.
Because I said so.
Yeah,
that's why.
But
I used that for the first time this week on Malone.
What's that?
Because I said so.
Ooh,
it just flew out of my stupid mouth.
I say it all the time, and it's bad. It's bad enough that Owen will say, if you ask him, why did you do that? And he'll say, because I want to, or something like that. He won't give me a straight answer or something. And yeah, it's annoying. So you definitely have to
be careful with this shit.
Yeah. Parenting 101, man. What the hell's wrong with you? I'm just kidding.
Too many things. It is innumerable.
Let's jump into Devil May Cry, because I beat that last weekend, actually.
Yeah?
And I loved the heck out of it. I really did. It was a fantastic game. It was everything I could have wanted in a Devil May Cry game. Before I do, though, I wanted to talk about kind of my history with the series and why it's relevant to me. I heard about the first game back in the day when I was playing Resident Evil, and I was super into Resident Evil. And I remember hearing or reading about in magazines and things that this new game coming out used to be a Resident Evil game, but it kind of strayed so far from the Resident Evil formula that they turned it into a new franchise altogether and called it Devil May Cry. So that was all I needed to know to play the game, because Resident Evil is awesome. Picked it up when I bought my PS2. It was pretty close to the launch title. I think it came out within the first year of the PS2 launch. Popped it in, and dude, I'm telling you, from the first cutscene on, I was so blown away with how action-packed this game is. It's one of those games that's so over the top stylish action that you can't help but just immediately love it. The first scene has him sitting down in his office, getting a phone call. He answers the phone, Devil May Cry. And then all of a sudden, some hell breaks loose. This woman walks in, and starts fighting him, and he's throwing his pizza up in the air and this and that. Dude, I can't even describe it. I
totally played the first one. I remember all that.
You do remember that?
I do remember all that.
And he's kicking the desk and doing flips and stuff. And at that point in time, I had never seen something that action packed in a video game before. And it was the proper fitting, I guess, what I needed to see in a video game to get me hyped.
Yeah.
And from the get-go, like, I started it up and it felt kind of like a Resident Evil game, just with action-based controls. And it really was kind of unique at that time. It still is today, I think. But you have your sword and you're lobbing guys up in the air, and then you jump in the air and you juggle them and you slice them up, and then you have 2 pistols too, and you can launch them up the air and keep them up in the air with the pistols. Oh, I loved it so much. And but they had you go into this mansion, I guess, and you were chasing after the main demon or devil or whatever. Dante is the son of Sparta, and he's half human, half demon.
Right.
So he is on a mission to take down this other demon who killed Sparta. And if I might be butchering this, I don't remember exactly. It's been, like I said, 18 years since I played that game. But all I remember from the storyline is the crazy stuff that happens, and exploring this mansion, meeting up with the different bosses. All the different bosses that you meet up with talk to you, and they're different demons who have like a grudge against you. Like, they know who you are and they don't like you. And so you kind of have Dante has a very badass, smug,
Go ahead and say it.
What?
Devil May Cry attitude. That's where it came from.
Oh, really? I've never heard that. Yeah,
like someone who's like kind of smug, arrogant, like whatever.
Super arrogant.
Whatever,
man.
Dude. Yeah. I got this. Like, oh yeah, you got something to say? Okay, I got something to say too with the back of my hand. Like,
oh, dude,
shit like that.
I've never heard that before.
That's called a Devil May Cry attitude.
I have never heard that, and that makes all kinds of sense, because that's Dante.
That's where it stems from.
Dante is that. And, I typically don't like that kind of attitude, but he pulls it off so well, and he's doing it to demons. So it's just like, yeah, dude. Hell yeah. That's awesome, man. And he does. He just,
who else has that attitude? Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic does have that attitude. But, as you progress, like it's not just action. You're also solving puzzles. You have to explore this mansion, and before you gain access to certain rooms, you have to do other things, and then opens it up. It's not just a by the books, or follow the level type of game. It's a little bit exploration based, but they also break it up into chapters. So every time you finish a boss or unlock a new room or something like that, you finish a chapter, and those bite-sized chapters help push you along and make you feel like you're progressing.
Keeps the pace up.
Oh, it's really good for pacing, especially for a game like this. But that was just a gameplay style that I loved, that I'd never seen before, that I wish had been carried on more. And it really kind of went away until like God of War series or Bayonetta. Games like that. I mean, those are the only other games that I can think of that have that kind of really fun, stylish action that Devil May Cry, I think, invented. So Devil May Cry 2 came out, and I never played it. It was one of those that got really poor reviews when it came out, and I was like, I don't want to spoil or ruin my taste on the series that I love. I'll just not play it. Devil May Cry 3 came out and got amazing reviews, so of course I went and picked that one up. And Devil May Cry 3 is one that I got, 50 to 75% through, and couldn't finish it. It was so hard. That is a really tough game. Yes.
I remember Chase playing that one as well. I think what's more accurate about my experience with it is I have a base knowledge of who the characters are, and I'm familiar with the gameplay. It's just that my playing it stemmed from my brother or my friends playing it, and I would just pop in and, play at it, and with no yield as far as the storyline or anything like that goes. I'd just hop on and mess around,
Yeah.
play a few levels or something. So gameplay wise, I'm familiar with it. I know what it feels like to play those games, but I need to go back and actually commit to a playthrough. And
I definitely recommend
learn the story, or at least Wikipedia all of it, and
the
then
storyline.
play
I
the
don't
new
think
one.
is really that important. I mean, a lot of people like the story, but to me, it's about the gameplay. It's a stylish, fun action. Like you feel like Dante, you feel like this badass who is, arrogant. Like you see this demon, you lob him up in the air.
I feel that way anyway, bro.
Oh man, I like games that give me that.
If you don't laugh when I say that shit, it sounds like I mean it.
Do you know what I'm talking about, though?
Oh, yeah, totally.
It's one of those, like... Dude, it's like when I walked out of seeing the first Spider-Man movie and
You can feel it.
I felt it, dude. I felt like the rush of adrenaline that comes from it. And that's what I get out of the Devil May Cry games. And that's why I love them.
I remember feeling that way after walking out of the Phantom Menace.
Yeah, with that last fight scene with Darth Maul. Yeah, dude. I can get with you.
I remember walking outside and like, I'm going to figure out how to have force powers.
Yeah.
I had a buddy who was so into Dragon Ball Z when I was a kid. At one time, he really got the bug in him, started feeling that way. Just like a real badass. Like just for that moment, he just believed in it. And we were playing in my front yard at my parents' house. We might have been 12. And he had committed so hard to going Super Saiyan in my front yard that he shit his pants.
I was about to ask. Oh, man.
He always said he didn't, but we all knew better. Nobody doesn't shit their pants and then just decides to go home.
That's hilarious. Oh, that's commitment, man.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
I'm not going to shout out who it was because I think he listens to the show. So, hey, buddy.
You know who you are.
I never forgot. I still love you a lot.
That's hilarious, man.
But yeah, I totally know.
The thing is with that feeling, like that adrenaline rush that you get from media like that, it's rare for that to happen to me. Like a game or a movie or whatever to give me that kind of excitement. I love it. It's like,
oh yeah, it's addicting.
It's nice. And so it's so cool when something can do that for me. And the Devil May Cry series does that for me. 5 definitely did that for me. I definitely got
you got jazzed.
Dude, I got so jazzed playing.
Did you spend any time giving yourself dirty looks in the mirror?
No,
like posing.
It's not about that. It's just like
posing with a fist.
It's not even. It's like I can mentally put myself into the game and just like know what button pushes to press and everything.
Yeah.
To where you just feel the flow. Your thumbs feel the flow, I guess. I don't know. It's immersion.
You've always had some flowy thumbs.
I am good at games. That's why I like playing games.
Beautiful little beta fish.
That's what it sounds like when I push the buttons. So
I'm so proud of you.
Devil May Cry 3. And actually the first game was really hard too, but I managed to get through it because I loved it so much. Devil May Cry 3 though, I literally reached a wall where I couldn't get past it. Devil May Cry 4 introduced a new character, Nero, which was a little off-putting to me in the beginning because, dude, Dante is the shit. I've already committed to Dante. Why you gotta be throwing this new dude in here, So I played. It was a fun game. It was really good, Devil May Cry, but I got so far in that game as well, and the difficulty spike in it I couldn't get past a certain area, and I actually ended up giving up on that one too. So it's unfortunate that these games are that challenging that you can't really progress, but I would totally go back and try to do it again, especially now after playing 5. But then after DMC4, there was the reboot.
The DMC.
Yeah. And that one was given to another studio. And they were basically given free reign with the property, and they changed it so much that it didn't feel like a Devil May Cry game. Like you could have changed the characters' names and nobody would have known it had any,
and just had a different game.
It could have been a totally different game. Yeah.
Hot take. I liked Dante's redesign.
I don't. Not even a little bit, man. That was one of the worst things for me. That's funny you should say that though, because when that game, when I was talking about Devil May Cry, I was like, actually, he would like DMC the most because I think the character design of Dante kind of matches your aesthetic, your style.
Yeah, I liked the redesign.
Yeah. It makes sense though, because the Japanese studios, the reason why they handed it off is they wanted a more Western appearance for Dante.
Oh yeah, and I am I'm a white guy for sure. You know, I'm a white guy doing white guy things.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean that's that makes sense. I mean, that's what they were going for with this game.
But bringing it back to the newer one, like, even though I liked the redesign, I think it's good that with the new 5, they brought it back to the more traditional Dante styling. It's
really kind of neat, and I think Capcom is getting the hint that, hey, people like your damn games, man. Don't change them. Change them for the better, but don't try to reinvent the wheel here. And that's what they tried to do with Devil May Cry. Also with Resident Evil, they brought Resident Evil back to its roots as well. So it's interesting to see Capcom going back to their roots on everything and how successful it's becoming. It's like they're finally getting to see, hey, people want these traditional games, and why didn't you do this before?
I'm glad to see them realizing that as well and kind of turning that corner. I'd like to see if they decide to do anything more modern with any of their other, classic franchises.
They definitely could. I mean, there's so many.
Yeah. Also, with the design of Dante from the newest one, and just the way beautiful animation, beautiful design and everything. If you slapped a cowboy hat on him, could you see him being in the next Red Dead? Because that's what I saw. So
they already slapped a cowboy hat on him, and he started dancing like Michael Jackson.
Really? Oh, did that happen in game?
Yes, it was so weird.
What?
That's the other great thing about Devil May Cry. Like, they're not afraid to
just get weird.
Just get super weird, man. So
I dig that.
It's that's one of the best things about it is the surprises that it throws at you. So with Devil May Cry 5, you start off the game as Nero, who was the main character in 4, and you have this prosthetic arm that you can use, and it has different abilities that you can pick up in the levels that give you like one of them has a whip that goes all over the place and you can take out guys that way. There's another one that's like a invisible hand or something. It's like a pressure hand that pushes enemies away and different things like that. So his gameplay style is very fast and fluid, and he's also got his sword and he's got guns, and so it's just like a combination of different ways that you can annihilate the enemies. You can juggle them, you can switch between different weapons and stuff, and it's so fun to do. They also introduced a new character, V. Have you seen him? He's a kind of goth looking dude with long hair
and like a white face and a mustache, throwing knives.
He doesn't have throwing knives. He has a staff that he uses to walk. He's kind of a weak.
I was describing V as in V for Vendetta, and you were nodding your head like I was describing the guy. So,
dude, you were way over on my. I didn't.
But rad.
I that was a movie that I missed out on completely. I saw it, but it didn't hit with me.
Really?
Yeah, it didn't hit with me at all.
Did you ever read the graphic novel?
You let me borrow it. In fact, I might still have it.
Did you ever actually read it?
No, I didn't.
That one meant a lot to me.
I know it did. I remember you would tell me all about it.
I've got a tattoo of it.
Yeah. It's your thing. It's your jam.
I love it.
I don't know. The movie spoiled me or soured me. Not spoiled me, soured me.
That's a good movie, though.
Well, V in Devil May Cry is not the same V for Vendetta. V in Devil May Cry, he's kind of a mysterious character, and he is super unique in his fighting style because he's got these 3 demons that he calls upon, and each one corresponds with a different button on your controller. So one of them is a close range, one of them is a long range, and the other one is a big behemoth that only comes in for a certain amount of time because he's overpowered, Mm-hmm. So you can't use him all the time. The close range one is a little like cat thing, dark cat, and he can do turn into swords and things. And the long range one is a bird, and he shoots like electricity and stuff at the
That's kind of
enemies.
rad.
It is so unique. Like I've never seen this done in a video game before. So the way it works is
I think the cat that turns into swords is a little on the nose.
With the claws, you know,
because that's all cats.
Oh man, yeah, for sure. So you push the buttons to attack the enemies with these demons, basically, but you're still playing as V. So V has to stand back and watch the action that you're still controlling, and then once you weaken the enemies to a certain point, you push another button, and V will jump up and final kill them, deliver the death blow, basically, because they cannot, the demons cannot kill. V has to deliver the death blow. If that makes sense. It's so weird and unique, and it just works so well. The only problem is V is a little bit overpowered. When you play his levels, because he can stand back and watch the action, it's really easy to dodge anybody that gets close to you. So he's really kind of an overpowered character and easy to control. Having all these different button commands sounds like it might be confusing, but it's really not. But he's fun. And lastly, we have Dante. And Dante finally makes his return. It's a little bit later on in the game when he comes in, but he still comes back with his sword and his two guns, Ebony and Ivory are what they're called. And he's got other moves that he can do and other weapons and stuff that he can acquire. One of those is given to him by another character named Nico. She's kind of like the arms dealer for Nero in his campaign. You give her supplies and she makes new prosthetic arms that you can use.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So she gives Dante this cowboy hat that can suck up the red orbs. Red orbs are what you use as currency, basically. And then use those as weapons. So you get all these little red orbs that you can circle around you and throw at people and stuff. But the coolest part about that, whenever she first gives you that cowboy hat, Dante puts it on and then breaks out into a Michael Jackson dance. And he's got like lights and fireworks and stuff going off in the background. Dude, he's got the moves.
All right. Okay.
It is so funny. Like when that happened, I was like, yep, this is Devil May Cry. This is why I play Devil May Cry. It's just the random, ridiculous shit. The beginning of the game, the opening cinematic has Nero and Nico riding in Nico's van. Their names are too close to.
They are.
And they're talking, and then they come across these demons, and she looks over at Nero and says, "You ready?" And he's like, "Yeah." She flips the van. So she rides up on this thing and flips the van. Nero jumps out of the van and it goes into super slow-mo. And he's like, bah, 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 doing all this stylish action crap, man, and just destroying all these demons. And then they're doing all the credits and stuff. It's like the opening credit scene. And then finally completes it by jumping back into the window. She lands the car perfectly normal and they drive off like taking care of shit. That's the kind of excitement and thrills that this game delivers to me that I just can't get enough of, man. It's just so great.
Do you want to go roll your car?
Absolutely not. That's why I do it in a video game.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, there's no way.
I misread the vibe. I thought you were laying down some options there.
No. It's absolutely ridiculous stuff that obviously you can't do.
Oh yeah, obviously.
You can
obviously shouldn't even try.
Well, unless you want to. Go ahead.
In your car?
No, in your car, your brand new one.
No, never mind. No, I'm good on that. I don't know why you would even suggest that.
I'm just countering your suggestion. So the story, I don't want to talk about the story at all because there's some major story spoilers that happen within the game.
Yeah, I don't want you to talk about it until I've borrowed it from you and played it.
You need to play the other ones.
I know.
It's
have they
straight up a continuation.
Them and released them on PS4?
Yeah, oh yeah, they're all there. You could play even the new DMC on PS4.
Okay,
but
I wonder if they're on PS Plus.
They've never come in on PS Plus.
Do you have PS Plus?
Your PS Plus is the online service. You're talking about the Play or the streaming service?
No, PS Now. That's what it is.
Now. I don't know if it's on Now.
I wonder if they're on Now. That'd be a better deal because then I'd have a lot of games.
Do you have Now?
Get distracted on. I either do or did and didn't update it.
Okay.
I might. I think I still do.
It might be worth looking into. I think it's on. Well, you don't have an Xbox. It's on the Xbox version of now, I guess. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I have the Devil May Cry collection on PS3, but not the PS4 version.
I don't even have a PS3 anymore. Get that one running.
The other cool thing, like the way the excitement gets you going, is like it has this kind of rock and roll music that kicks up when you start.
I remember that.
And then as soon as you get done, it just kind of fades away. So it's like it's amping up the action and the adrenaline with with the music. It's everything goes together so perfectly in this game. Also, the engine that they're using is the RE engine that they use for Resident Evil 7 and the Resident Evil 2 remake. That engine is phenomenal. Like, I am so happy that they've created this new engine. It looks so beautiful, man. And really, the only complaint I have, the only negative that I really have for this game is I don't particularly care for the level design. And I'm talking about aesthetically, like what you're looking at. Like, the first Devil May Cry had you in this mansion and in different areas around the mansion, and it was cool. Like, every room felt new and unique, and you felt like you were exploring. This game, it starts you off in like this demon area where there's just like the walls are alive. You know, you got veins and things floating around, and
hot.
It doesn't feel. It's so like removed from reality, but the game is anyway.
I was like, can we talk about where your benchmark is on this one?
it's too far, a little bit too far removed, and it's a fine level. The problem is that aesthetic is used throughout the majority of the game. Most of the game kind of looks that way. There is a few levels early on where you're in a city and you're kind of going around the city, which those are cool. They have a sewer level and things like that, but then once you get into that demon area, you're stuck there for the whole rest of the game. And I would have liked to have seen a little more variation on that, because it did get a little bit dull. But that's a very minor complaint, because I'm not really playing for the environments. I'm playing for the swordplay.
Sure.
But to go back to RE engine and how Capcom is kicking ass right now, dude, between Resident Evil 2 Remake and Devil May Cry, both of them phenomenal games, getting excellent reviews. People are loving them, myself included. I am super hopeful, you know, like you said earlier, that they start to bring back some older franchises. Like, is there anything in particular that you would like to see?
I know they just released recently a new Mega Man.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know. Someone will probably shoot me for saying this, but I'd like to see them update Mega Man, maybe into like a third person experience.
So you're onto something there, and I think Mega Man 11 was fantastic. It was
fun, and it was it had the right feel for what it was, you know?
It felt like a Mega Man game, and it felt like a new one. And I forgot about that. That just came out recently too. So Capcom is even returning to its roots there as well.
Right.
But they're also talking about maybe releasing Mega Man X, a new one.
Yeah.
Dude, I would be ecstatic for that.
Yeah.
But what you're describing, the third person one, is Mega Man Legends. Did you ever play those?
I remember its existence. I don't think I ever played.
So Mega Man Legends and Legends 2, those were third-person games. The controls are kind of weird. They're tankish, like you push up to move forward.
Yeah.
And then you have to look the left and right, make you pivot left and right. They don't make you move left and right.
Oh, okay.
So every time you turn, you have to stop, turn, and then move forward again.
Ugh.
It's real useless. Archaic.
Okay.
By today's standards. It's still playable, but when I played those games back in the day, and I loved them, dude. They had a different feel for Mega Man, yet it still felt Mega Man.
Yeah, I don't see why not take a franchise like Mega Man, update it, and you know, put it in like the RE engine, you know, and create like a fast-paced third person, you know, beat 'em up shooter out of it, you know?
Dude, you're onto something.
Take like the gameplay mechanics of something like Devil May Cry or something like Kingdom Hearts or something like that and apply it to Mega Man.
Mega Man has enough moves in his arsenal that something like that could definitely work.
Right. And there's enough characters that you could keep up kind of a cartoonish, frenetic energy and keep it really exciting, you know?
The great thing about Legends and the main thing that kept me going was the storyline. The Mega Man Legends had a very prominent storyline. Like the other Mega Mans, you know, give or take the story. Mega Man Legends storylines, like I wanted to know what was happening. I cared for these characters and things. That could absolutely work in a new Mega Man Legends. I think that would be cool.
I would like to see them breathe new life into Final Fight.
Okay. Final Fight would be cool, but there was do you remember, have you heard of their latest, or not their latest, their last Final Fight game? It was such a freaking, it was so disappointing. They tried to take an over realistic approach to it, and the gameplay was a little bit, you know, generic.
I forgot about that. So I take back what I said about Final Fight, and I'm moving on to, they need to breathe new life into Okami.
Okami is cool. I briefly played that game when it came out, and I don't know why I stopped, to be honest with you. I enjoyed what I played, and it was
relatively repetitive in play style. That was probably exactly why.
The paintbrush thing.
Yeah, it was one of the more unique and beautiful games I had ever played up to that point.
It was beautiful. I agree.
And I wouldn't mind seeing another installment of that, or even like a different legend, a different story, but kind of with a similar dynamic, you know, a similar aesthetic.
Yeah.
You know, like Capcom has a lot of franchises
they have a ton of great franchises
that were important to my playing as a kid.
Yeah.
And that I would really like to revisit some of those franchises, but in a modern or updated or expanded sense, you know?
Yeah. Capcom was a really dominant publisher back in the NES days, Super Nintendo days, the PlayStation days, like the PS2.
Yeah.
I think the PS2 was kind of like their last hurrah, you know, like that's where they, you know, they had a lot of games come out, a lot of really great games come out there during that time, but they also had a lot of bombs come out too. And yes. I think those bombs kind of is what may have killed the company. I mean, they went away for a good long while. I mean, they were still releasing games, but nothing as great as what they used to release.
Oh, sure.
Right now feels like a true return to form for them. And they're seeing all kinds of success with, you know, relying on these tried and true franchises that they've already established, you know. Why try to reinvent the wheel? I know I said that before, but I mean, honestly, and they're figuring that out. And I'm so excited. Like, I want to see some more updated remakes of Resident Evil games. Final Fight, like, I agree. Final Fight is cool. I'd like to see more of that.
I also wouldn't be mad to get my hands on another Onimusha.
Onimusha would be so cool. Man. Yeah,
dude.
Onimusha, that's another series. Actually, Onimusha, the only reason I even played Onimusha was because of Devil May Cry. Onimusha had a similar gameplay style to Devil May Cry. Yeah, that would be awesome, dude.
Hell yeah, it would.
Also, one that would be really, really special for me is the Breath of Fire series.
You know, I never played those.
It's their traditional JRPG and the most...
That is exactly why I never played them.
I mean, kind of generically over, you know, like every trope about a JRPG is going to be found in a Breath of Fire game. But what I loved about those games were the art style and the animation. 3 and 4 especially, and 2. I really like 2. But the animations, the character animations in the battle scenes were 2D sprites that were just overly animated, and they looked beautiful. And I'm a sucker for that stuff. So yeah, it would be awesome. I can't think of any other ones really. I mean, I
think we hit all the big ones there.
Those are the kind of the big ones. I mean, they've been working on Street Fighter for a while. Street Fighter's not really dying at all.
It never will.
Street Fighter's a great franchise. And they brought that one back with what, 4? Yeah, 4 was the big return to form for them on that.
And it was good.
Dude, one other thing. I just picked up Friday, and I don't want to talk about it because I'm still playing it, but I just picked up Sekiro.
All right.
And I know you know about this.
Shadows die twice.
How many times?
Twice.
What?
That's twice. Actually, it's funny. I read an article about it the other day. That was talking about kind of the production of the game and I mean just all of it, kind of diving into it, and found out that whenever they were kind of going into research phase for the whole thing, kind of pre-production, they learned that shadows die twice.
Oh man. Ding. Man.
That was a long setup.
It really was. I was like, dude, you had me. You saw it in my eyes. I was waiting.
You were ready. There. I wish I had something like actual to give you with that setup. I'm a little disappointed in me. I'm sorry I did that to you.
Nice. Well, we got to laugh at it, but that's all that matters. So, Sekiro is so special to me because it's a From Software game, and they make the Soul series and the Bloodborne game.
This is the game that whenever like the first little teaser bits came out, everyone thought that we were gonna get like a samurai themed Souls game, right?
Right. Or people were hoping for a Bloodborne 2 when they teased it originally.
Right.
But it's not. And you know what? It's, to me, like, it's better than a Bloodborne. I love Bloodborne, I do, but this game...
No, you don't.
I promise. I really do. This game takes, like, what is so fun about those games, the gameplay style and everything.
Which is nothing.
To you.
Bloodborne.
And many other
Ryan
people too.
dies twice.
More than that, I promise. I promise. But they give you more... they give you more abilities to traverse better. You can jump. You can jump in those other games. So that's a big deal.
That alone is a big game changer.
It kind of is, but it's still like whenever they say you can jump and you got a grappling hook so you can like go to different places up higher. Whenever they gave you that, I was like, oh man, so this formula, this fighting style that works for the Souls games isn't really going to work with that formula. I was wrong. It works exceptionally well, and I love it. It is so addictive. I'll talk about that more later when I play more of the game, but I did want to tell a story of how I acquired this game because it's kind of funny and shows you kind of the insight of my life as a gamer and how my family supports me with this. So I wanted to get the special edition of Sekiro to get this awesome statue back here.
Oh, yeah.
And this awesome like sword letter opener. And it came with some replica coins, a replica map that's really cool, an art book, soundtrack, the full soundtrack, a steel book for the disc, like all of these really cool things. And it was at a reasonable price too. Like most special editions of games are like minimum $150. They wanted $90 for this. So I felt it was worth the investment for me since I love the FromSoft games so much.
Oh yeah.
So I missed out on the pre-orders for this. It's a GameStop exclusive, right? And whenever I didn't know that the pre-orders went up for this game, and when they did, they sold out quickly. So I missed out on that, but the day before the game came out, I looked online and found 2 GameStops that showed that they had one in stock. And one of them was actually, they were pretty close to each other. They were on Northwest Expressway over by where I used to work, actually, over by that S&B.
Okay.
Yeah, so there was one there, and there was another one over close to that as well. And
is it the one that backs up to that S&B? Same little shopping center?
Maybe, I don't know.
Probably.
So I called the first one, and the first one said, well, we do have one, but we've already had a few people calling in wanting it. So you would have to come in at 6:00, and we will, if you're the first in line, we will sell it to you. Otherwise it goes first come, first serve. And then you have to come back at 9:00 to actually pick up the game. So they don't do midnight releases anymore. Now they do 9 p.m. releases, which is fantastic. It's also kind of weird. It's weird. It's great.
That's bizarre.
It is. But
I remember when my brother worked there and they did the midnight release for Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
And he went to work dressed like a cowboy.
Nice. Playing it up.
That's the whole story.
Well, when I called him, it's like, okay, first of all, that GameStop is about 30-minute drive from my house. So, Amy and the kids wanted to go, and I was like, okay, I guess we're going to try to be the first person there. And it was like 5:30 when he told me this. So, I was going to go ahead and do that. But then I saw the other one had one in stock as well. And I called that store, and big shout out to that store because this guy was super cool. Called him and he said, well, we have one because somebody canceled their pre-order, and we could sell it to you, but you have to come in. I was like, dude, I live about 30 minutes away and I really, really want this. Is there any way you can put my name on it and just hold it for me? I will come right now and pay for it. Please, just kind of like begging this guy because I really wanted it. And he said, yeah, no problem. I'll do that. We got in a car and drove up there and paid for it. The guy was super nice, super cool kid. And it really pissed me off because when I went up there to pay for it, so when I walk in there, there was this couple already there, and this kid was the only one there. He was the only employee there, and they were taking their sweet time, man. I was just, Amy and the kids were in the car, and I'm sitting here waiting, and they're just like asking question after question after question. And then he would answer a question and she would yell back at her husband, who was back shopping in the store, what he answered. And it was excruciatingly slow. And, I was getting pissed, a little bit annoyed, but I knew this guy was doing me a favor. So I I don't raise a fit anyway, but I wasn't going to get too mad about it. Then this other dude walks into the store, gets in front of me, and I'm standing at the counter, dude. I'm standing at the counter. All I'm doing is looking at some like knickknacks that they have right next to the counter because, what else am I going to do except twiddle my thumbs waiting on these people? And the dude just comes in and walks right in front of me. I was like, what the fuck does he think he's doing? And then you hit him. I would never go to that point, especially, but I wanted to. I wanted to.
I was about to ask where the story's going.
It's a funny story.
It didn't end in violence, so
it didn't. I'm
that's
sorry.
Good.
Spoiler, man. Spoiler.
Sorry.
So, I get to looking at this dude, and he's like real fast, and he's got this mean look on his face. He's real skinny, nerdy looking dude, and I was like, something's up with him. I don't know what his deal is, but he didn't even look back at me, and I went beside him to kind of say, hey, I'm next in line. What the fuck? And he looked at me. He was just like, and looked back. He didn't make a move. He didn't like say, oh, were you waiting in line? Like a normal, person would do. And then I noticed that he was carrying Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain in his hand, PS4 version. So I knew he was trying to sell it back. I was like, okay, so he's going to try to sell this game back, but whatever. Whenever it got to be when he was done with the employee was done with those other two people, I was going to jump ahead and say, hey, I was here first. But as soon as the employee said, thank you, he was up at that counter, like immediately.
Quick draw.
Dude, he was like, I think he was purposely trying to get in front of me and not do it or not let me go, which really irritated me until the guy scanned in the game and he said, oh yeah, we'll give you $250 for this game. This game is cheap. It's a super cheap game. Like I knew that they weren't going to give him shit for it.
Right.
And, he got really pissed off. He's like, what? $250? I can't even buy a pack of cigarettes. That's the whole reason I'm selling this. So a pack of cigarettes. Dude was flipping out because he needed a pack of cigarettes. He didn't have money to buy a pack of cigarettes.
Wow.
So
all right.
After that happened, he wasn't a complete dickhead about it, but he was kind of an asshole. And it's like, the guy was like, I have no control over what we can give you. Besides that, that's an old game. Nobody wants it. Don't worry about it. He took his game and left. And, if I had started any kind of anything with this guy, first of all, he's already pissed off because he needs a cigarette. He needs a smoke. Secondly, like you never know what's going on through people's heads, what's important to them, and the fact that he needed to get his hands on a lucky strike. Yeah, the fact that he needed that, like, it's not even worth getting mad at some people for, and it's like I wouldn't have realized that until after the fact. And I did. After that happened, I was like, hey, I was the dude that you talked to on the phone. You held that thing for me. I'm ready to pay for it. I was like, man, thank you so much. And he was like, the dude was like, obviously like super excited to be talking to me after this asshole just walked out. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, no problem, man. He started giving me free shit that came with the game, and he's like, hey, if you come in tonight, come in like at 9:00 and we can hand you your copy of the game and I'll give you a poster too of the game, and everything else. So I was like, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, go ahead. So it shows that kindness counts. Had I never been nice to this guy on the phone, he never would have held it for me and I never would have got it. But after that happened, it was 6 o'clock. We had to wait till 9. I wasn't going to go drive back home and then drive back. So Amy and the kids and I went to the park and played for like an hour and a half. And then we went and saw my mom because she lives near there, and then went back and got some ice cream. And then finally it was time to go pick up the game. All the while, my kids and everybody was with me, just enjoying the time. And that was just one of those things where we got to hang out together. And, I guess this is a common situation that happens and the kids are familiar with it. And Amy's familiar. She's so supportive of the fact that, hey, this is a limited edition game. He has to get it. He has to get it. And she's going to be like so supportive that she'll go ride with me and
that's
accompany me on it. And I know that was a big, long, drawn out story that with no big conclusion, but I thought it was an interesting.
You did not smash.
I didn't smash, but it just shows kindness counts and supportive family is awesome.
Yeah.
The morals of my story. And also shows that I don't have a lot going on. Otherwise, that I could tell a big, long, drawn out story.
Hey, no, it's a good story.
It was one of those situations where, you don't typically have things like that happen. So I like to share.
I was imagining whenever you were talking about standing there and this guy getting up there being all squirrely, the challenger approaching splash screen, but with like a skinny, pissed off nerd shadow. So like my shadow.
Have you seen that video on YouTube where it was that, it was like this woman who was a man, but identifies as a woman.
I've seen it.
Gets real pissed off at the employee. Yeah. Dude. You could give GameStop employees... Don't give GameStop employees shit. They deal with some crazy ass people,
They deal with some crazy stuff.
I mean, you can hate on GameStop all you want. Don't hate on the employees, man. I mean, I've never... I won't say never. I rarely encounter a GameStop employee that's just a complete dickhead. Usually they're cool and willing to work with you. And don't ever get pissed off at them over a price of a game. Do your research first. Look it up on the app. Look it up on their website. How much money can I get for this? If it's not enough for you, there are other alternatives to getting rid of your game. You could sell it on eBay or, list it on Facebook Marketplace. Don't get mad at GameStop. They're a business. They got to make money.
Also, any of you listening to this, please at Adrian on any social media platform and remind him to update his GameStop account so he can use all the points I've been sending him for the past 4 years.
I noticed, actually, they sent me an email the other day, said, please give us a rating on this new Switch controller that you purchased. I was like, wait a second, I didn't purchase
give them 5 stars and then update your account and then ask me what I need you to go buy for me at a discounted price.
What? Spit everywhere. How is that controller, by the way?
It's fantastic.
Is it? Okay.
It's a great controller.
See, when you said you got a pro controller, or you got a controller for your Switch, I assumed it was one of the ones with the cords.
Yeah, no, I got the good stuff.
It was what A power? What's brand name? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
A-line.
I don't remember.
It's not a first party pro controller. It's like a second hand or not second hand.
Third party
pro controller.
It's the one that has like the like OG Super Mario level graphics on it.
Oh, okay. I've seen that one.
Yeah,
but it's cool. Wireless. It's not wired.
It's
which
wireless,
is cool.
Yeah.
So does it still have the rumble functions and everything?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a cool
I was
controller.
really interested because that thing is about what, $20-$30 cheaper than the actual first party one.
I still spent $40 on it.
It's $40. If you bought a first party controller, they're $70. I think they're $70. Yeah, right. So that saved you $30.
I'm not going to choose right now to launch into a diatribe about how Nintendo needs to calm down just a little.
Dude, isn't that ridiculous?
They're just a wee bit hyphy, my friend.
So I was curious, like, how much you like that controller, because I might pick one up.
It is a great controller,
especially at $40.
Yeah.
No, it still has rumble though.
It does.
And
there were 3 different controller options, and that's the one I chose.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I had gotten the actual first party, like Smash licensed controller that had like Bad Mario's silhouette on it with the red eyes.
I have not seen that.
It's a red controller and then it had Mario's silhouette, and then the Smash.
And that's
logo.
a first party one?
I think it was a first party one. I might be wrong.
I've got the first party Smash controller, and it's got the logo. It's a white controller, and it's got the logo printed on the front.
Then it was another third party.
Okay.
Because it was also $40.
Yeah.
But I'm probably going to pick up another one, honestly.
I kind of want to, like, if you're actually next time I go to your house and play Smash, I want to try it out.
Yeah.
I definitely am always in the market for another controller, especially because we do 4-player stuff all the time. And if I can save some bucks on a second or third party controller, then I'm game for that. What about the buttons and the joysticks?
They're great.
Really?
Very reactive.
Cool deal, man.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to share? Because I think I don't.
I'm a little tapped out. Where can they find us?
jabgcast.com.
Ooh, you forgot the www at the beginning.
Stupid.
Yeah, hey, it's the internet, man. You have to type out World Wide Web dot JABGCAST.
We're also on Twitter, Instagram at JabGcast, Facebook at JabGcast, YouTube. Also, we need ratings and reviews on iTunes and Google Play, Spotify, YouTube even, subs. It helps the show. It really does. And a lot of people don't realize how much it helps the show.
Send us a Yelp.
Don't do a Yelp.
Yeah, tell us if your ears thought it was what we were serving up was hot and delicious.
Yelp, I thought, was for local businesses. I'm pretty sure it is.
We're a local business.
No, we're a web-based thing.
Dude, don't be like that.
And it's not a business because we don't make money.
Just because we don't make money doesn't mean we're not making money.
Honestly, though, I would love to see some reviews. It helps. It really does. So, appreciate it if you did that for us.
Yeah, for sure. Do that. Don't rule out Yelp.
If you really want to do a Yelp, go ahead.
I'm gonna set up a Yelp profile.
I'm not gonna stop you.
I just have to do it out of spite now. Hey, thanks for listening.
All right, we'll see you next time, guys.
Later.